Okay, well, here I am back in my studio here in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, and obviously I'm not on the Appalachian Trail right now. But what I want to do in this video is just bring everybody up to date on my hiking of the Appalachian Trail and my other hiking plans. So let's go ahead and start with my AT update. Obviously, if you've been following my videos, you know that after 530 miles, I had to get off the trail to take care of some business back here in San Miguel de Allende. Yeah, and that was I started my hike in mid-March of 2024, and as I said, got 530 miles hiked, and was doing pretty well. I was concerned, I'm not young. I was one of the older hikers out there, and they only I think they say 25% of the people who begin the Appalachian Trail as through hikers actually make it all the way from one to the other, from Springer Mountain to Mount Katahdin in my case. So I was concerned about, whether or not I would actually, be able to do it. But once I got through the Smokies and things started looking pretty good, and I started feeling, pretty confident, and I thought, you know what, I think I'm going to be one of that 20-some% of the people that actually make it to Mount Katahdin. I was feeling pretty good about things, but some things outside of my control forced me to leave the trail. Basically, what it was is I got a message from the woman who owned the house that I was leasing here in San Miguel de Allende, telling me that I wasn't going to be able. She wasn't going to be able to renew my lease, and that meant, and my lease was going to be up in September, and I was. My plans were to try to be finished with the trail by September, but and sometime in August actually was my goal, and but I figured if I'm going to have to find another place to live and everything, I can't get home and back here to Mexico and just get all this stuff worked out within a couple of days. So I got off the trail. I was hoping I could maybe work something out with my the woman that owned the house I was leasing, but that turned out not to be possible. But the good news is I found a new home, and this time I signed a 5-year lease, so I don't have to worry about something like that happening in the future, at least not for the next 5 years. And so things, as far as my home, everything here in San Miguel de Allende worked out really well and pretty quickly. And the next thing on my mind list was, okay, when can I get back on the Appalachian Trail? Now, things have gotten a little more complicated, as you can probably tell. I've got a couple of dogs here, and the situation is with these dogs, they were just tiny little pups that were rescued just months before I left to hike the Appalachian Trail. And maybe it wasn't smart of me. In fact, it wasn't my original intent. I was actually just fostering them, hoping that they would find homes before I left for the Appalachian Trail, and they had not. And I was concerned about them, and I had a woman who was going to be doing some house sitting for me, and I contacted her and said, "Hey, would you mind watching a couple of little pups?" And at that time they were only this big, and she said, "Oh yeah, sure, I can take care of your pups." And I paid her a little bit of money to take care of my pups while I was gone, and obviously while I was gone, they grew like mad. They were grew fast. But once I got home, I realized that these young dogs really need my presence. The woman who was watching the dogs and taking care of my house while I was gone, a really nice woman named Tracy. She is really nice, but not really a dog person. And when I got home, these two girls, they were crazy. They didn't really have any kind of training at all, and they were, very reactive. And it was almost impossible even just to take them out for a walk without them going crazy. So I realized that, I'm not going to be able to, with them at this point, be able to actually get out on the trail and be gone a matter of months because I really feel like they need more of my attention. And so I realized that, what, I'm not going to be able to get on back on the Appalachian Trail immediately for a while. Well, I should say not back on to do a complete through hike. Now, so what I've decided is that, I still enjoy my hiking. In fact, you may have seen some of my videos that I've done of me hiking around the mountains here in central Mexico. I've posted, I think, a couple of videos of me hiking in the mountains here in central Mexico. And so I have been doing some hiking, and I've decided that what I'm going to do for at least another year while these still pups are maturing is that I'm just going to do shorter hikes. There's a great place here where I live called Puppy Lodge that has that in fact these girls, they love it there because they can run around. They have goats and things like that, and for them to bark at, and big areas for them to run around, and they're really good. And I don't mind leaving them there for a few weeks, but definitely I wouldn't want to do it for several months to do a complete through hike. So I've decided that I'm just going to, for at least the next year, probably a year and a half or so, I'm only going to be doing shorter hikes. So what I thought I could do is get back on the Appalachian Trail and just do sections of it at a time if I wanted to do something like that. Or I could, do alternative trails like the John Muir Trail. I was thinking about that. And yeah, that's sort of been my plan. Lots of shorter hikes here, around the mountains here in central Mexico. And then once or twice a year, maybe take off and do a more substantial hike of, maybe 2 or maybe even 3 weeks hike somewhere. So what I've decided, and in fact, I've made up my mind what I'm going to be doing for 2025. It's now February in 2025. So yeah, and in fact, I've recently published my videos from my 2024 hike of the Appalachian Trail. And I put in my descriptions that, this was my 2024 hike, and that what it was, I had some, as you can tell, especially with some of the earlier videos, I had some editing issues, some problems with the audio, and some copyright issues and things like that. So I ended up going back and re-editing those videos, tried to clean them up as best as I could. In some cases, the audio was still kind of rough. But I cleaned up those videos, and I thought, okay, great, now I can publish those. So I started actually on January 1st uploading those videos as I was editing them so that people could see those. So some people were a little confused, even though I had it in the descriptions that this was my 2024 hike of the Appalachian Trail. Some people were a little bit confused. So I also put my 2024 tag, on all the thumbnails. So, but people might not have noticed that. Anyway, yeah, I figured I could do section hikes if I wanted to, or something like the John Muir Trail, or something that's just a 2 or 3 weeks. So, but what I have decided to do this year in 2025, at least in the first part of it, I might decide to do something else later. But I've decided that I am going to hike the Tour du Mont Blanc. The TMB. And for those of you who are not familiar with that hike, it's Mont Blanc is the highest mountain actually in Europe, in the Alps. And the Tour du Mont Blanc essentially goes around the mountain. It starts well, at least the route that I'm going to take starts in France, and I'm going to be going counterclockwise, hiking into Italy, and then heading north up into Switzerland, and and then heading back into France. And that's going to take me a little over a week to do that hike. So yeah, I will be doing some videos and documenting that. And hopefully I'll get my editing skills down a little bit better so I don't have as many audio glitches and things like that. But that's, yeah, really what my plans are, at least for the first part of 2025. I'll be leaving this because it's up in the Alps and it's so high. It's basically the hiking season for the TMB starts in June, and by the time you get into September, the weather conditions start getting bad enough that generally the hiking season is over. So I will be at the very beginning of the hiking season, which means I probably will be seeing some snow and some severe weather, and parts of the trail, in fact, I might have to take alternative routes and things like that. But what is I know for sure is going to happen is I'm going to get some great views. The Alps are beautiful. I've been doing some research on it, and it's going to be an incredible hike, I'm sure. And I'll be talking more about that in future videos. But as far as my channel and getting things uploaded, yeah, I'm not going to be getting back on the AT between now and June anyway. Possibly, if I want to do a section hike, I might have time later in 2025 to maybe go back and do a section hike of the AT. But we'll see, and I'll keep everybody up to date on that. In the meantime, what I'm going to do with my channel, because yeah, I do my editing with these videos. I do all that editing just on my phone. Basically, I've got my Insta360 camera over here, and I've got my iPhone right there, and those are the only cameras that I use. And then as far as the editing, I do all of the editing just on my phone. And I'm not a techie by any means, so I'm still trying to figure things out. But I think I'm getting a little bit better at it. So, in 2023, I did the Camino de Santiago, and I had same issues with the videos that I did of my 2023 hike of the Camino de Santiago, and I wasn't able to upload all of those videos. So what I've decided to do is basically the same thing I did with my ATs. I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to fix those videos as much as I can, and I'm going to hopefully, starting within the next few days, start uploading those videos. So anybody interested in the Camino de Santiago, you can follow those videos as well. And I should be able to get all of those uploaded before I leave for the Tour du Mont Blanc. So basically, for those of you who are not familiar with the Camino de Santiago, since I think most of my subscribers are people that are Appalachian Trail fans, and but the Camino de Santiago is also in Europe, but it's in mostly in Spain. Santiago, Spain, is where the trail ends. There's actually several different routes that you can take. The most common one, which is the one that I took, starts in France, in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, and goes down into Spain and ultimately to Santiago. And in fact, I went ahead and hiked another 3 days all the way to the coast to Finisterre, and so I did even more. But there are routes that go through Portugal, which is another one that's becoming very popular. And in fact, I don't even know how many different routes there are, because there are several. But you can do some research. And I think I'm probably going to do, before I leave for the Tour de Mont Blanc, I've been thinking about doing a video where I sort of compare, what's it like hiking the Appalachian Trail compared to what I'm anticipating for the TMB, the Tour de Mont Blanc, and my experience hiking the Camino de Santiago, and some other hikes that I've done. I've liked to travel around the world, and I've done some hikes around the world. The Mount Kilimanjaro and the Inca Trail, and I've been to Patagonia and done some hiking down there. So I'll be doing some videos that compares the Appalachian Trail and to hiking some of these others. And there's some interesting differences and some similarities between all of these different hikes. So yeah, that's pretty much where I stand right now with my hiking. And of course, I'm gonna continue to get out and do some short little hikes here in the mountains of central Mexico as well. So that's it for now. Be looking for my videos documenting my 2023 hike of the Camino de Santiago. That's probably going to be the next things that I'm going to be posting. So in the meantime, happy trails.